Yo, we out here from the Bay Area to LA right here with my boy Justin, man. Justin, how you doing, my brother?
I'm good, bro. I'm good.
Yeah, I'm surprised you're not hustling right now, dog, because usually, bro, I message you, you usually hustling, usually doing your thing. You're building something, bro. You're a natural builder, right?
Yeah.
Something tells me that you're, creative, that you're an entrepreneur, that you love to make sure you put your flavor on things, right? Where do you think that comes from, though?
Where I get my creativity from?
Yeah, all of that, like just you being a builder, dog. Because I look at you, you're how old?
22.
You're 22 years old.
Yeah.
And you have this whole resume. You have real estate, you have e-commerce, you have NFTs, you have all these things. You have companies you're building now. How can someone at 22 years old do that?
Bro, to be honest, like my mom when I was growing up, she was a big hustler, bro. Like she did real estate. And from a young age, I used to door knock with her, bro. And she used to take me door knocking from like the age of like 5 to like 9 years old. I would get pissed off if I didn't get to go door knocking, bro. I was like, bro, I was one of those kids that was like, you're not gonna take me door knocking. But deadass, like I got so obsessed with it from a young age. And as I grew into my teens, I figured out how to make money that worked for me, right? And that progressed, and I was like, okay, this isn't the way to do it because like I have bad friends. I have like, it's just not the path that you want to take, right? So when I hit 18 years old, got my GED, and like I wanted to take my mom's path, and I was like, okay, let me get into real estate.
Okay.
And then at 18 years old, I helped build my first company, and by 20 years old, built my own company, and that same year I hit 7 figures.
7 figures.
Yeah.
Wow. So take me through that process. Like, when did you know, I'm actually capable of building this? Because that, honest to God, bro, you tell 18, 19, 20-year-old that they can build a 7-figure company, I'm not sure if they'll believe you.
Yeah. When did I know I was capable? I didn't.
Yeah. Okay.
So like when I was living at my mom's house, right? I didn't know I was capable, but I believed I was. Okay. So I remember I was like literally writing my goals on a whiteboard, right? And my mom walked in and I wrote, okay, I'm gonna make my goals in a 3-year increment. I don't know where the hell I got this from. Okay. But I was like, in 3 years I'm gonna be here, right? Okay. And that year I wrote $1 million, 2021. I swear to God, my mom walked in like 5 minutes after I wrote it, and I'm looking at the whiteboard all proud of myself. I'm like, yeah. But I'm like, and at the same time in my head, I'm going like, I have no idea how the fuck I'm going to do this. I have no idea what I just committed to. Right. I don't even know what this means. Like I've never seen anyone in my family hit $1 million. Wow. And my mom walks in and she's like, Justin, I'm 45 years old. I've never hit $1 million. Like, how the hell are you going to do it in 3 years? Damn. And I swear, but it wasn't from a bad place. Right. It was like from a place of like, yo, like, I'm curious how you're going to do this. Okay. And like, I've never seen like anyone your age have these goals and ambitions. And I had the same thought processes. It's like, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to do it. And that same year, like, I did everything I could. I bought my first property. That went to shit. I failed on that.
What went wrong there?
I just didn't have like the right guidance for it. Okay. And I pulled out a deal. Like I went together in on a deal with an investor. And I wasn't patient. I was like, the investor told me it's like 4 months until we close. And 4 months passed, and I was like, fuck this doesn't work. And I pulled my money out. Okay. And I was like, I need faster money. I see. So then I figured out wholesale real estate. Somebody told me about it, and I went and I was like, all right, bet, I'll help you build your company. And I didn't know anything about building a company. I didn't know anything. And he just put me to work. And when he put me to work, I just built on my end. Like everything that I could build, I built, and I helped him scale. And I took that same knowledge that I learned over those 2 years, and I applied it to my own company and made it better. Okay.
It's funny because as I'm driving over with my boy Steven, Jose Luis, I'm in the passenger seat, and I'm trying to just come up with the best topics, questions, right? And one of them was, because I believe right now we're not even in the microwave era, bro. We're in the air fryer era where we want quality shit that comes fast, right? So that means we potentially want to make $1,000 in one day, right? That's why we see all these scams wherever we see them. So what would you say, to someone who wants to make a quick buck compared to building it? And is there a difference?
Well, look, okay, so making a quick buck and building a company?
Right.
Okay, so there's a massive difference between that, right? Okay. So you can make a lot of money having a side hustle without building a company. Right. Like a lot of money. Don't get it twisted. You can literally sit there and like build a skill set and go boom. Like you could learn how to code and make smart contracts, and then that becomes a side hustle. you get hired by, you know, these big crypto firms or whatever the case may be, and you can make hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars a month by that little side hustle. And you don't, and it's not even a little side hustle anymore, but it's a skill set that pays you out like crazy. You don't have to have a company. You just build a skill set, right?
Right.
Or you could build a firm and build an actual company in an industry that you want to build to. Like my first thing was real estate, right? So what I do, I went and hired employees, disposition managers, acquisitions managers, transaction managers, marketing managers, and then built under people underneath them and built a machine. That's what it is. I wanted a machine. I don't like my thing is I like building companies. Right. I have this crazy passion for building companies. I don't know where it truly came from because I never really saw anybody build a company as a kid. I just got really creative with like systems and processes. I was like, yo, like if we put this here and this here and this here, every month I could hit 150,000. And I was like, all right, like if I just tweak this right here, this month we'll hit 1 million.
Right.
And that same like mindset took me to building companies. So if you ask me what's the difference, there's a different tactic in building, right? And one, you're building one individual skill set that you're scaling that skill set to get more opportunity from. In another, you're building a machine that is going to provide you opportunity consistently that could convert to dollars.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
No. Yeah, you have a point. And have you ever heard of the Emyth?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so the Emyth is a book that basically talks about the differences between big businesses and small businesses, right? And the difference why each of them make them and why they don't. And it's what you're saying. It's some businesses understand the concept of systematizing franchising, right? Because yes, you can do something, and that's the thing, man. My thing is if it makes you happy, if painting pictures on the wall makes you happy, and you can't systematize that, okay, go ahead, bro. Like that makes you happy, but like you said, if your goal is to really expand business, build a machine, I think systems really is the way to go, right? Yeah. Because what can you do with a system?
I mean, there's so many things. Bro, there's so many things. Like, I think for everything in my life, I've sat down and thought of, like, how can I scale this? Okay. And how, bro, I'm a loophole. Like, so my girlfriend always tells me this. She sits me down. She's like, Justin, your greatest asset is that you look for loopholes. And I'm like, bro, like, it's dead ass, though, because I don't like the initial process, the way I look at it, right? If you give me a process and I look at it and it goes, okay, if you do this, this, and this by hand, you'll convert this much dollars. Or if you do, like, let's say you get a painting, you're like, if you paint a painting by hand and you sell that painting for $10, right? It's going to take you 6 hours to paint that painting, right? In my head, I'm like, well, how can we cut that 6 hours down to 35 minutes so we could produce 60 more paintings a month and we can make that $10 into $3,000?
I see.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm like, or it's just a way for me to go ahead and use my creativity and use my skill sets to where it provides me more value. Now, the way I look at my company is like, if I put this person in this seat, how is that going to produce me more? You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And then at the same time, provide them a value back to them.
Right. Yeah. And I think, like you said, because you're looking at it, you know, you would go out in corporate America and you would see that, you know, we all can see that the top guys only really care about themselves and not never like going under and then pushing everyone up, right? Yeah. And then you're saying, man, I'm hiring people, so I'm providing jobs, which can eventually put food on the table for somebody. Yeah. And you're teaching game, you know? Yeah. And I think that's the most important part because, you know, most people, they might be listening to this and like me, man, they might have a job at this moment, but are trying to get out. Yeah. Right? Were you always an entrepreneur? Did you have a job?
Yes, I had a job.
Okay. What did you do for work?
Bro, you want to hear like everything I did for work or like the last thing I did for work?
Maybe like the last couple of things. Yeah.
Okay, bet. So like the last couple of things was I worked at Zoomies.
Okay.
I worked at Zoomies. I quit Zoomies and I moved back to California from New York. I was working at Zoomies in New York. When I moved back to California, this is right after I got my GED. And right when you probably have to cut that. You're good. Right when I moved back, I was like, all right, like, let me get into a sales position. Okay. Because like, I just knew I could sell. I didn't know how, like, I never had a sales job, but I did sales in my own life. You feel me? In my own way. So I was like, all right, I worked at a gym and I did sales at this gym for like 6 months while I was starting my entrepreneurship journey. And the moment I got, I swear, the moment I got the opportunity I was looking for and I was like, yo, I'm gonna go build this company. I quit my job with $800 in my bank account. And I said, fuck all this. I left my mom's house, went to go sleep on the couch and slept on the couch for 1.5 years at that point until I built my company. And that was my last job. But me, I'm the type of person, like, and some people aren't like this, but I'm the type of person that's like, I risk it all. Like I will risk my last dollar to win because I'm an obsessive winner. Like I like winning. Yeah. So it's like if to me, like the way I look at it is like, all right, I have $1 left in my bank account, right? I will risk this $1 to make $1,000, even if my odds are 10%, because I'm not betting on that dollar. I'm betting on myself.
Wow.
You feel me?
Yeah, bro. Hell yeah. Say it again, bro. Say it again.
So like the reality is that most people, they bet on a situation.
Right.
They never bet on themselves. Right. You feel me? And like if you just bet on yourself more times than you bet on an opportunity, you will walk away with a value regardless if you lose in that situation or you don't. Because I've taken so many L's, dog. I've taken so many L's to the point where it's like, all right, I took more W's from every single individual one of those L's because when every single one of those L's, they were lessons for me. So when I walked away and built my company, bro, I had all these perspectives and all these situations and all these paradigm shifts that happened throughout that time where I was taking W's. Right. I'm sorry. Yeah, they were W's for me. Right. Those L's turned into W's, dog. Right. They really did.
Yeah, and through the process, I mean, I'm sure you're meeting a bunch of people, whether that's you training them, whether that's them, giving you information. Bro. So how important is it to seek out information in general?
I mean, my first year, I invested. I mean, my second year, I invested over like $150,000 into education, and I was just popping like 10K, 15K at a time, just because I wanted to win so bad. And like sometimes I didn't get shit from it. Like it was the reality of it. I didn't get anything from it. But other times I went big, bro. I was like, okay, now I know how to market a PPC campaign, a pay-per-click campaign, so where I could get my cost per lead down to $20, which average for the average person is $100 for the industry I'm in. Right. So I'm like, now I win big, but I would never have won if I didn't take that risk. So I think education's a big part. Like I didn't go to college. Okay. So I got to learn somewhere, somehow. And I'd rather learn from somebody who's winning than learn from a book. And that's just me personally. But when I didn't have money to do that, I was in my books. I was on YouTube. I was trying to figure out what worked, what didn't work. And that's how I kind of scaled myself little by little. I scaled myself as a human before I ever scaled the company.
Let's talk about that part, bro, because yeah, you're right. Because it starts, what would you say starts first? You having that multi-million-dollar company, or you making sure you lock yourself down and be able to convert into that?
I mean, very clearly, like, you gotta, bro, I cannot stress this enough, bro. Yeah. I cannot stress this. You guys have to lose before you win. So sit your ass down in a chair and make a decision and go, okay, I don't care how long I lose. Yeah. I'm going to build myself first. Right. And then as I build myself, I'll learn how to build everybody else up. And that's the first decision you got to make, because before you could do that, you got to really scale your mind, bro. Yeah. Like your mind is like its own personal business. Yeah. Right. And if you understand how to scale your mind up and understand your intelligence in itself and what your potential is, because your potential is limitless. Right. And if you really understand that, and if you really break that down in your mind and make that decision where you're like, okay, I understand these things. Now let me take extreme action. Everything is limitless. And so to answer your question, yes, you personally first, and do it in the fashion that I just told you if you'd like to. I think that's the way that worked best for me and a lot of the people that I've talked to about these things. And then second, sit down and scale your business. Right. But both are going to happen simultaneous at one point. Right. Like right now, that happens for me every day. I scale myself and I scale my business at the same time, but I would have never been here if I didn't sit down and take 2 years to understand myself as a human and understand what I wanted to do. Right. You feel me?
No. It makes sense. And potentially what you're saying is like, man, if I have a problem in business, instead of looking at the business, let me go look in the mirror first.
Yo, bro, low key. Right? Low key, because sometimes like a lot of the times, bro, like your business is a reflection of you. And if you're fucking up, a lot of the times that's going to put that on your business. Yeah. So first of all, ask yourself, because I don't care whose fault it is in your business, that something went wrong, it's always your fault. Right. And you got to accept that, because at the end of the day, that's going to help you progress as a human. Yeah. If you put somebody in the wrong seat and that person fucked over your business, you made that decision to put that person in that seat. And now you got to think to yourself, what made me make that decision, and what can I do next time to not make that same decision? Right. And once you start taking responsibility for the things that are actually happening inside your life, and start taking responsibility for the things that are happening inside your business, you're going to scale a lot faster, because you're going to understand your potential a lot better. Right. Yeah, because a wise man once told me, he said, when you point the finger at somebody, you're pointing one at someone, but three are pointing right back at you. No, it's facts.
right? And I think self accountability is the number one thing, because we were just talking about off camera. You know, you were like, man, the number one thing, you know, maybe you could talk about it, that has gotten me to this thing is not motivation, is not, you know, those motivational speakers, it's not the money. It's one thing, and that's discipline.
Yeah.
Right? Because I think it's easy, you know, like, let's say last night, man, like, I found out I was going to LA. Like, it's easy to be motivated because I'm coming down here, da-da-da. But what about the nights that I don't want to go home and edit, right? You know what I'm saying? And then what about, for example, in your instance where you don't want to get up and make that sale or call that team play or whatever? What do you do in those instances?
Well, let me just say this. Motivation gets you started.
Okay.
Discipline keeps you going. So what do I do in those moments?
Yes.
I remember my goal.
Okay.
Like, I remember people depend on me. Like, I remember when my mom calls me and she tells me, yo, you gotta retire me. I'm like, all right, bet. Like,
yeah.
Like, that's not light. It's
right.
not a light thing. And you have to, like, remember those things when you're going through those moments, because at the end of the day, like, if you weren't here, people will be hurt. So you got to make sure you take advantage of being here and make the most out of it.
Yeah.
So, like, it's easy, bro, because, like, it was a decision that I made years ago.
Okay.
And the moments that I, like, reflect on that decision and I go, like, fuck, why'd I do that? I remember why I'm here. And I remember I serve a purpose. If it's to my company, if it's to my team players, if it's to my mom, or if it's to the world, I serve a purpose here. And I got to keep pushing regardless of the situation.
Yeah. So let me ask you that. What do you feel like your purpose is in this world?
I mean, to be honest, it's
a heavy question.
Yeah, I mean, like, I know my purpose right now, like right now in this moment, and it always shifts. Is to truly help people, like the people inside my company, the people around me, my family, and like the people I speak to online. Like, it's to just genuinely, like, if I could leave a set of words that impact somebody's life, that's more important than giving any type of money to anybody. So I feel like that's my purpose. I feel like I speak a lot through my words, and I feel like even when I get on stages, like, the first thing I talk about is like, yo, this is what you got to do mentally before you can prepare yourself to win. And I go through that for like 20 minutes, and then the next 20 minutes, like, I give you real game, bro. Like, I will give you game on how to build a company, but I can't give you that until you're mentally ready for it.
Right.
So it's the same thing. Like, I just feel like my purpose here is to just help.
Yeah. And I think, you know, we were talking about your tattoos earlier, man. I have servant, you know, I have something that symbolizes servant leadership, and it sounds kind of like what you're saying right now, where it's like, man, it's way bigger than Justin, right? It's your mom, it's the team players, it's, you know, the brand, and it's whoever the brand's helping out, you know. And I think that's honestly the definition of success, bro. Where it's like, yeah, you can make all the money in the world, but it's like, at the end of the day, like you said, it's the impact that you make with that money for the people that are left behind.
Yeah. Not everything is money, though, bro. Like, not everything is money, and I feel I feel like it took me a long time to get there, and even sometimes I battle with that. Like, I'm like, yo, like, I'm focused so much on, like, yo, I gotta hit this goal, I gotta hit this goal, and like, there's a life around here, bro, and like, you gotta pay attention to that, because that shit flies by. So if, like, the more I help and the more I, like, even if it's producing through my company, I feel more satisfaction in myself, because now it's never been about my goals, bro. Like, it's about bringing people together, you making a community, making a tribe, and scaling together as a community and a tribe. Yeah,
and I like that last part too, because like you said, yeah, we're gonna form a community, but we're all gonna also eat as a community and scale that shit, you know?
Yeah.
Because that's just as important too. I'm sure these people, they have families, you know, and goals, aspirations as well. So to be able to have the responsibility at 22, because most of the people on your team, I mean, you know, the people that you're kind of helping out, are they younger than you, older than
me, younger than,
you know?
I mean, everyone, I think there's only one person in my company that's younger than me.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, for one, how do you deal with that? Let me ask you that, because I'm sure, like I said, a lot of these people, they might be in their younger 20s listening, but gotta go meet up with those 30-year-old, 40-year-old investors, you know, just someone that you know has more life experience and might not take you so seriously. What do you do to make sure that no matter who you're in front of, they're taking you seriously?
All right, so the first thing that, like, I did for the first, like, year and a half is, like, I shut the fuck up.
Wow.
That ass, like, I really, like, listened, bro. And, like, I waited for opportunity. If, like, they said something that I was like, yo, it looks like they need help right there, I was like, yo, like, maybe I could do this to help you, right? And I just waited, bro, and I just built network up like that. And, like, I wasn't scared or vulnerable to be wrong at my age. I was 18 years old and I was sitting there and I was like thinking like, yo, like I really want to learn, bro. Like I obsessively wanted to be better. So I wasn't scared to be like, yo, I'm wrong and I can learn from this situation.
Right.
Or let me hear you out. Right? Because a lot of people talk. A lot of people talk, bro. And I didn't want to talk because I didn't have anything important to say at the time. So
yeah.
That and then that led into like me learning so much through experiences that I was able to keep up with these conversations and I was able to like guide these conversations. And then it became people that were, you know, like I had people that, you know, made $60-70 million a year and I was doing something they weren't doing. And they were like, how do I do that? And it became that. And then it scaled into me having a network that like we depend on each other. You feel me? So it starts with you really first creating a relationship, even if it's a value-based relationship or, you know, you provide a value to them and they provide a value to you. That's the biggest thing, first of all.
Right.
Figure out how you could provide a value. It doesn't matter like what that value is, but you need to build a skill set. Second, start providing that value and create testimonials, right? So create testimonials inside your network. You don't think if I plug Sam in with somebody, at the end of the day, Sammy's gonna go, yo, Justin plugged me in with this person. You should link up with Justin because he's lit as hell at what he does. He's gonna be able to help your business too. And boom, my network just expanded from a testimonial.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, I'm helping people, right?
Yeah.
So that same concept like just kept trickling on until I just met so many people that expanded my network for me. Right. But at the end of the day, it takes hard work at the beginning.
Yeah.
So the way that I would say, like I said, I would just reiterate it real quick. Step one, like just really take those first few years to learn as much as you can. Step two, once you have a skill set and the value to provide that for your network. And step three, as you go through that, it depends where you want to take your network to. Who do you want to meet? What type of value person do you want to meet? Once you figure that out, you have to understand what rooms you got to be in for that person to be there, or for whatever person that's going to connect you to that person. So start strategically putting yourselves in rooms that are going to help you leverage yourself. Right. And then have relationships in those rooms as well, or build relationships in those rooms as well. Yeah. Because everybody forgets about the little fish. Meet the little fish. The little fish are going to take you to the top.
Wow. Yeah, no, for sure. And I think the number one thing you said in there, you know, or one of the most important, is make sure you're providing value as well. That's not just one-sided, right? Because I feel like a lot of people kind of expect people to help them out, you know, do business with them. And it's like, hold on, like what type of value are you providing to be able to create that relationship as well, you know? So that's very important. And I know you were in the NFT space. How did you get into that?
Yo, crazy, bro. Oh my God. I don't think I've ever told this story. Okay, so peep this. So one day I was having dinner with some of my friends during a football game, right? Okay. And I'm not gonna name drop or anything, but there was this one kid, right? He has super clout on TikTok, super clout on everything, right? But he was pretty broke. Like he was broke for a while, bro. So I was just peeping the game. I was like, yo, like ta-da. But bro, like he started driving Lamborghinis and all this shit. Like he just popped out of nowhere with some money, like enough to like fake flex a lifestyle. Right, so I was like, all right, bet, like you're making money now. What are you doing? Right? He's like, yo, bro, I'm trading crypto coins. And I'm like, bet, what kind of coins? He's like, shit coins. Okay. I'm like, all right, bet. So I hit up a few people and I was like, yo, I need you to learn how to launch a shit coin. And they're like, bet. All right. So I was like, I don't know how to market this shit, but I'm gonna learn, right? So like it took me a few weeks to sit there and figure it out. I was like, all right, bet, like I kind of got a skill set now. Let me push this forward, right? So then I was stressed as fuck, bro. Like while I was doing the coins, my aunt died on my birthday. Like a whole bunch of crazy shit happened to where like I was sick, bro. Like I was honestly like in a really bad mental space. And I said, yo, like I'm done for now. But I was like, I really found a knack for it. Like I was saucy, bro. Like, and I could say that because I'm confident in what I did, and I did some shit that like hadn't been done yet. Like I really like built a foundation for like Instagram marketing crypto coins at the time. Like I was literally like getting so many connections because I was building bridges that had never been built before, and I gained so much crazy.
What were you doing to build those bridges?
Bro, okay, the same process I told you about, I just did it from step 2 and up.
I see.
Like, because nobody knew what they were doing. And I like took like a standing point where I was like, I'm gonna lead everybody to learn what to do when I didn't really know what I was doing, but I knew something, right?
Right.
So then I grabbed everybody I knew, and like it was such a crazy like point. Like we were like, I just scaled my network like a maniac, and my name got out there like crazy inside of the crypto space at that time. And then launched 5 projects. Like a few of them were really, really successful. And at the after my aunt died, I launched 4 more projects. Like literally, I did not stop working, bro. I was pulling all-nighters for 3 weeks. I was kind of obsessively working, just trying to like numb myself and
That's
shit.
what I was gonna ask. Do you think it had to do with that?
Yeah, bro. Like for real. Like I was not in a good place, but I just wanted to work so bad, bro.
Right.
Like everybody was telling me like, yo, Just, you could stop.
No, yeah.
And I did not want to stop, bro.
Yeah.
I did not want to stop.
And bro, I'm telling you, I've been reading this book. It's called Feeding Your Demons, right?
Yeah.
And because in Western society, we're so used to the concept of tame your demons, battle your demons, get rid of your demons. But it's not really that. It's becoming one with them, right? And personally, I understand what you're saying, because personally, one of my demons is the stress demon, dog. And what I realize is there's always an underlying under that, which is usually something like, for example, me, insecurity, maybe. It might be like your life might be insecure at the moment with everything going on with the passing and all that. So now you're just like, let me go take control of what I can take control of. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So no, yeah, I feel you, dog, and don't feel bad for it, honestly. But it's crazy though, because to me, it blows my mind, because some people you have to like motivate them, and then some people you literally have to hold them back. Like, hold on, dog. Like, worry about your life right now.
Yeah, I was just angry. I was so angry, and I just wanted to work to like numb that anger.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where like I wasn't working the way I wanted to, so I just took a step back.
Yeah.
And
so what did you do to make sure you put yourself back into like that home place?
Bro, to be honest, I didn't do the healthiest things at first.
Okay.
I partied a lot. I partied a lot after that, and I remember like there was like a moment where like I was like, yo, I'm not doing the right things in my life. Like I blew like, bro, like to be honest, bro, I blew like 100 bands in like a week at the club, and I was like, yo, like what the fuck am I doing with my life? And I sat back and I was like, yo, Justin, like you didn't do all of this to do this. And it was actually a year ago tomorrow.
Damn.
A year ago tomorrow, I sat back and I was like, yo, like, I'm going to change my life. And I was on a flight back home on July 4th. And I hit up, I posted on Instagram. I was like, I don't know what it was. I made a choice where I was like, yo, like, I'm just going to rebuild everything and I'm going to go hard again. Like, I don't know. I make big decisions at once. But we're going to get back to the NFT, because we're going to dive back into that. But I posted on Instagram. I was like, yo, I want to shoot a documentary. Where's their videographers? A year ago. Yo, that's crazy, Zach. Literally a year ago tomorrow. And boom, Zach hit me up, my videographer. And I launched a documentary called 0 to a Million in 90 Days. And yeah, I just started over. It was like a refresh for my mind. Yeah. Like after like going through so much shit, I was like, yo, this is what I need. I need to go hard again. I need to remember what it feels like to be at 0. Wow. And even though I wasn't at 0 on my bank account, right, I treated it like that.
It was like that chip on your shoulder.
Yeah. Yeah, I treated it like that though. I felt like in my soul, I was like, yo, I have nothing right now, because I felt like I had nothing. And I was like, yo, I'm gonna go just as hard as when I had nothing. So, whatever. So October comes around, and I link up with one of my boys, Josh, Jet Set Fly, and I told him, yo, I want to get back into marketing crypto, like do this shit with me, and we did it together, and bro, we killed it. Like we just killed it, bro. Like we really sat there and we built out a plan, and like, bro, like I am a trailblazer, dog. Like I'm really like, I love building shit that nobody's ever built before, bro. And that is like one thing that I love doing, bro. So I sat there and I was like, how can we build something that nobody's ever done before and make this shit boom like a crazy person? Yeah. And we did that. And we sold out a project in like, it was like 6-7 minutes, like $4 million, boom. Yeah, bro, crazy shit. And now he's the owner of NFTmagazine.com. Wow. Yeah, so, like, that's how I got into NFTs, and that's how I made my name pop off in NFTs. I did a few projects after that.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was my go around in it.
Okay, let me ask you this, because
I actually did one of the first projects to ever do a physical watch. See right there, that watch right there?
Where?
That purple watch right there?
Oh, yeah.
That's the first NFT project to do a physical watch. I was part of that team too.
Wow.
Yeah, I did
That's
a
sick.
handful in the NFT space.
Yeah, you could say you're the first to do that forever.
Oh, yeah, I can say I was the first to do that forever, dog. No cap. Now, like, that same company is, like, has collabs with Disney and, like, what was it? Star Wars and, like, a whole bunch of different shit.
Sheesh.
Crazy shit, yeah.
Yeah. Man, and I think, because you just said...
Shout out to Travis Lubinsky.
Shout out Travis. So you just said you had an idea, and within, you said minutes, you went, executed, all of a sudden.
So when I first got the idea for launching shitcoins,
okay.
I executed that same dinner. I walked out of the dinner, and I made calls to everybody that I thought that could help me.
Damn.
And in like 4 or 5 days, I had a team.
And that's what I'm saying, because the ability to do that, dog, because honestly, a lot of people sit on, how long don't they sit on any idea?
Bro, take action, even if that shit comes out lopsided the first time. It will teach
so
you
how did you wire yourself that way to think and then boom?
Honestly, bro, like I was always really like a kid that had no fear.
Okay.
And
yes,
I was just like, I've been on like outside since I was like 9 years old, 8 years old. Like I remember, like I'll tell you a story real quick, where like I was like 5 years old, right, and I was on my little bike. I'll never forget this shit because I feel like that's what kind of like triggered in my brain. And I was like riding in front of my house, and I rode like maybe a quarter mile down and around at 5 years old, bro. And I was so scared. I was like, damn, somebody's gonna find out that I left that. And I came back and nothing happened. So like I started doing little shit. But this is just me, guys. Like this is just, I'm giving you my perspective.
Right.
So I just started doing a lot of shit that most kids would like get consequences for, and I realized I wasn't really getting consequences. So like it built like this paradigm in my head. And nothing against my mom. My mom worked a lot, bro. My mom worked a lot. So she wasn't like, she was out there providing for me while I was being a badass kid.
Everything she had to do,
doing everything she had to do. So sometimes like she didn't have her eyes on me, but she had to do to everything she could do to feed me, you know?
Yeah.
So my mom did the best she could, bro.
Sure.
Bro, like, so, you know, shout out to Mom Dukes, bro.
No,
But that ass, like, she did everything that she could do to like.
She's the real neighborhood hero.
No, she really is. She really is, bro. Like, she, to this day, bro, she's like my biggest supporter, bro. But I did so many things as a kid that weren't right. Like I was really a fuck up as a kid, bro. And like I did so many bad things.
Yeah.
And I think I built this like this sensation of like I'm not scared of risk. So like it didn't matter. Like I honestly like don't have like a risk meter on me for a lot of things. Yeah. Other than like danger. Like I understand danger.
Right.
But like with risk, like I don't have that. So I go all in for everything that I do. Like I remember like there was a lot of moments where I was just down bad, bro, and I would risk everything to like come up, and I did, and I flipped it up again and again and again. Yeah. It just
no, my bad. Because what you're saying is like, it's very true, bro. Like the way it's funny because we try to understand everything around us, bro, but we never really understand ourselves. Yeah. Right. And the thing is, I've been learning a lot about the mind because I'm genuinely interested in like human behavior and just like human development. And one thing I found out, it's so funny that you just said it. You were like, man, it's crazy. This is probably what happened in my brain, and it's exactly that, dog. Is when you're growing up, the circumstances, maybe, I obviously just met you, but based off your story, it sounds like there was a survival mechanism that was there your entire life.
Yeah, it was, bro. Like, like, there was this, I didn't really, like, have a lot of connections as a kid, like, emotional connections. So I found, like, my happiness being outside. Like, I really, like, bro, like, you, like, crazy shit, bro. Like, I would literally... You know where the San Fernando Valley is?
No. Not too familiar with this.
Okay. So like San Fernando Valley is like above LA. It's like like Van Nuys, like Pacoima,
Okay.
Panorama City and shit like that.
Uh-huh.
Right. So, my mom, we moved to Palmdale, right? Because like out there in Palmdale, you can get a house for cheap.
Okay.
And we were living like pretty like, we weren't living in the best circumstances in the valley.
Mm-hmm.
So, whatever, we moved to Palmdale, and like, bro, I was so like, I didn't care about risk so much that like my mom, I would tell my mom, right? I'd be like, Mom, I'm spending my night, the night at Tarara's house. I'll be back on Sunday. My mom would be like, yo, whatever, go hang out with them, right? And she would drop me off at a random location, right? I'd be like, yo, just drop me off here. They're gonna come pick me up. She would drop me off, right? Drop me off. I swear to God, Sammy, I had no plan. Mm-hmm. Bro, there was weekends where I slept on the bus bench just to be outside with my friends, bro. Wow, yeah. Bro, I was like, so for me, it was like, I need to risk it all to have fun.
Right.
And I took that same mindset from like being this kid that just didn't care. And I took that to business. Right. And I was just like, yo, like, now I really care. But I'm going to use like my same emotional factor that I have towards things and use that to scale myself up.
That makes sense, bro. And really, man, this is great information. Not literally like from beginning to end, you know. And if I'm, like I said, I try to be a man of the people, man. I always try to think of the people whenever I make any decision, you know. And within that, it's like, I think this is the opportunity. I think this is a huge opportunity that if you're listening to this and you realize like, yo, I went through some shit growing up, this is your opportunity to turn that shit around. Meaning like, you know, you're not responsible for what happened to you, but you're responsible to do everything else that comes after that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, like, I know hustlers in the streets that have more skill set than people that make hundreds of thousands of dollars. But they refuse to leave their circumstances. You feel me? Yeah. So it's like, at the end of the day, it's a mindset shift. And if you want to change that, you have the ability to. Right. But 99.9% of people have that same mental blockage we were talking about at the beginning. That's like, I don't think I'm meant for this, and I don't think I deserve this. And the moment that you stop telling yourself that and just fucking work, it'll change your life. Yeah. Right. Because I think, you know, like when you're saying that, man, because like, for example, like I said, human development, all that, the number one reason, you know, people go to therapy, and there's a huge, I don't even want to call it a problem. I just think it's just the way people view it. And that's just the unknown, bro. Like, the reason why I said therapy is because that's the reason why people go to therapy. The number one reason is the unknown. And I think that's, as an entrepreneur, bro, like you said, you're living every single day as, I don't really know what's going to happen tomorrow, you know, especially you being that risk taker. So, like, how do you put yourself in a position to where, yeah, you know, that company did work out, but, you know, when it don't work out, you know, how long does it usually take a bounce back? Because that's the thing, bro. Some people might say, man, let me go take a month or 2 months. But I've also heard it only takes you as long as you're going to tell yourself it's going to take you. Yeah. Right? No, so how fast are you to bounce back to that? I mean, bro, like, sometimes it's like, it just takes a moment for me to hit the wall to understand, you know? And there's other times where, like, I don't hesitate, you know? Yeah. But I don't care what anybody says. Like, you need to take a moment and breathe and figure out how you feel in that situation. Okay. Because there's been moments where I work, bro, and I work through all, like, the pain, and I work through everything. And you're working so hard that, like, you don't have anything to focus on but work, right? And you know what ends up happening? You start making a lot of money, and things start to simmer down. And then the workload gets lighter because you have employees now. And then you have time to think. And all that pain that you didn't think about 3-4 months ago starts lurking up on the surface, and you start going like, what is happening? And it's because you never dealt with anything. Right. You never sat down and said like, okay, am I okay as a human? No, you just focused on work. And that's why I say like being a human is so like, it's a very weird complex because you have to sit there and not just focus on making money, because making money is probably the most simple part about all this thing. You have to sit there and really go, as a human, how do I feel? Because I know none of y'all listening to this are robots unless we're in 2016. We got AI out here. So pay attention to your body and like really understand yourself, because at the end of the day, like, you don't want to lose yourself to this shit. It's very easy to. I see too many people making hundreds of millions of dollars that like you look in their eyes and you're like, yo, they haven't been there for a long time. Wow. That's deep, bro. That is super deep, because it's like,
And Gary Vee talks about it, dog, where he's like, man, one of my biggest fears is that the same people who never had the money strive for it so hard and believe that that's what they're actually chasing in happiness. And then they get there and they're like, where's that same happiness I was searching for?
I feel that. No, seriously, like, for 3 years, I was so focused on hitting $1 million. And when I hit $1 million, I was sick. I was sick. I was so much happier when I hit 100,000. Because 100,000, I was like, I'm so close to $1 million. Hit $1 million, my stomach hurt. I was like, yo, I'm here, bro. This is it.
Damn. Yeah. And at that moment, so what do you think it really was? Because at one point you're like, man, $1 million, right? Yeah. And then you get closer to going, you would think, oh no, like, you know,
the closer you get, the scarier it gets. Especially if you don't like set like fundamental purposes inside of your life outside of money, and you set like, even if you set your purposes on goals, bro. Like, there's just things that you have to take care of yourself with. Like, most entrepreneurs out here, like, they got therapists, bro. They got really expensive therapists. Like, even Drake, you know that song Drake just came out with fucking, with Jack Harlow? He's like, he's like, in the waiting room. Reading Forbes, talking to my therapist about my abandonment issues, right? But that's real facts, bro, because people forget, like, we are human, bro. Like, stop, like, okay, this money stuff is cool. We could talk about money all day. I could teach you about system processes. Like, bro, like, focus on your heart, bro. Like, and it sounds so dumb because, like, at the end of the day, like, you're like, I really want to make a bag. Well, make that bag. Have fun. Right. Make that bag and make that shit a sport and get really freaking good at it. But don't forget that you have a heart, you have a mind, and you need to take care of that shit while you're on this journey because nobody else will.
Yeah, seriously. And that's the thing. No one else will, but it's like Albert Einstein, man. I heard of, I don't know if it's a quote or something. I just know his name's attached to it. But he said, man, you can ask me what's 1 + 1, 2, 2 + 1, 3, right? You can ask me 9 equations. I get all 9 of them right. Ask me the 10th one, though. You say, what's 9 + 1? I say it's 11. They're going to forever ridicule me on just that one, right? Because it's crazy. People are always going to want to just see that one bad thing. But, man, you just got to keep going, bro. And really, I think you're just really motivating simply because you're sharing your vulnerabilities. And I seen a quote today that said, a lot of people think that whoever shows their vulnerabilities is a weak person. Hell no. Get that out of your mind. Like, those are the strongest type of people because you understand, bro, that someone can listen to this and someone can grow. And, like, yeah, you know, and I think that's essentially what you're saying, where it's like that's the bigger picture. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, bro. All right, so talk to me because that's kind of what I had wrote down. I was like, you know, it's important to chase the money, yes, you know, because we all need money. Make sure you're taking care of that mind, body, soul thing. Yeah. Right? So what do you do to take care of those 3 pillars?
I think I'm still figuring it out.
Okay. Right.
I think like I genuinely tell you guys this from a place of like experience because like every day, bro, I'm still figuring it out. Like for my mind, like I sit there and sometimes like really just focusing on the things that I love and helping people helps me. Yeah. Like yesterday, like I was feeling like, bro, like I had an amazing day, but for some reason I was sick at the end of the day. I was like, fuck, mentally I was like, yo, like I kind of feel like shit. Yeah. So you know what I did? I went out and bought my whole team stuff. And I was like, this is going to make me feel better. Yeah. And seeing the smile on their faces made me like bring some joy inside myself. And it was a little selfish from me, but at the same time, it helped somebody else in this world. Right. So.
Right. And I think that fulfillment, man, because, you know, there's a lot of ways to feel in this world. I think that's one thing I realized. There's so many ways to feel, you know? Yeah. And it's crazy because, like, growing up, I thought there was literally just 2 emotions, and that was just anger and happiness. Yeah. You know, but there's things like fulfillment, and there's things like, you know, like certain feelings that you get when you know, really put your heart into something, you know? Yeah. And let me ask you that, like, what has, through your career, you know, you've made obviously a lot of money, you know, you've built up a lot of brands, helped a lot of people. What has been one of the most fulfilling moments in your 22 years of young life, brother?
Probably speaking on stages. I love that shit. Yeah. Yeah, I love it.
What about it does really get to you?
I get to, like, impact more people at the same time. Yeah. Yeah, and, like, I'm right there. Right. So it's just, like, I just see the emotion in the crowd. Yeah. And I love it, bro. I love it. Like, I'm obsessed with it. I genuinely, like, find so much joy doing that. I think that's one of the most, like, the biggest moments where, and then especially, like, the messages. Like, I get DMs all the time, and, like, people like, yo, like, this changed my life that you said this, this, said this. And those, like, there's not one moment that stands out. There's just all these little moments that make me feel like a real human and like made me like connect to myself. And I'm like, yo, I'm doing something here that's changing people's lives.
Right. No, yeah. And honestly, it's like, man, imagine if everyone else thought about helping everyone else out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's the ultimate goal. It's like, this is what I was gonna get to. Was like, on a spiritual standpoint, dude, you're literally giving off that energy, and, you know, and who knows, like, these people going to these events, they might be, you know, I don't want to use the word fiending, but like, it's like
bro, I'm giving a part of myself.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Like, I'm really giving them a part of my mind and a part of my soul, bro. Because when you're on there, bro, that shit takes energy, dog. What I do, I don't talk on, bro. I'm like this, dog. I give them a piece of my heart, bro. So like when I'm out there, it takes from me and it gives to them.
Right.
And that's why it's so impactful to me, because not many people could do that. And I get the blessing of being there, and every time I am there, I give it my all.
Right. No, yeah, and I think, you know, we as humans, we see like everyone up on stage and say, you know what, we want to be up there, be glorified, you know, have the say and have the mic and stuff. But the number one thing is like, look at all the stuff you went through to be able to be in that position, you know. And I think we need to have more conversations of people's testimonies and people's adversities, because that's really where the learning lesson is, dog.
Yeah,
like,
for sure. You're not gonna learn from me making money like that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're gonna learn from like the moments where I learned.
Right. And at the same time, don't get me wrong, it's cool because then you make the money and then you can like, you can still learn from the money. Like you just said, man, you bought something for your team. Let me ask you a question. Was that the only reason that you did it, was to make yourself feel better?
No, because I love them.
Okay.
I love them. I like, they show up for a vision that my company has. And like that shit like impacts my life. Like every day that I see people inside my business, I'm like, yo, like I can't lose. I can't lose because people are depending on me. So it's like, now it just makes me go so much harder.
So what is like within this team? What is your main purpose? What do you tell these people when they come into your company? Like, what is the number one thing that they have to like live by, if anything at all?
I mean, to be honest, bro, it's like, just like do what you do and do it as best as you can.
Okay.
Because like that shit, like that means more to me than anything. Because if you give your everything to something, I know you'll give your everything to a lot of other things. And I feel energy, bro. Like I've had so many people that come into my business and they're like, yo, like they come here to take from me.
Wow.
But they don't give.
Wow.
And I want givers, bro.
How can you detect from someone who's genuinely want to give out that, you know, value both ways compared to someone who just wants to take?
When a person comes to an interview, they talk about giving instead of receiving.
Okay.
I like, that's a big one for me. Like the moment that you like the conversation starts and it goes from like, you know, because everybody got to receive something in return.
Yeah.
But the moment that you're trying to take and now talk about giving, that's when I'm like, you're not meant for this company. You're not meant for this success. Yeah. You're not meant to at least eat at my table. Right. And that's fine. Like like that. Everybody's meant to eat at their own table, bro. Right. And I don't take that away from anybody. But like, it's a privilege for me to have the people I have around me. Like I'm the privileged person. I'm lucky, bro. Yeah. I'm really fucking lucky.
No, for sure. And let's talk about that. Let's talk about mentorship real quick because I believe if you pick up a book, that's 200-300 pages of someone's potential 50 years of a certain practice of experience, you know. So like I said, this information is really key. Who do you follow? Whether that's like someone that you know in person, listen to audios, podcasts, like who do you follow for mentorship?
Y'all ain't gonna like this answer. Recently, I just been following my intuition.
Okay. No. That's some real shit. Cause Nipsey, I just watched an interview today with Nipsey Hussle. He said, once you know how to trust your intuition, your instincts, like it's another level that you get to.
Yeah, like I really just imagine like the best version of myself, and like he be standing next to me through a lot of conversations and coaching me through it. And that's what I listen to. Now there was times where I looked at people for skill sets. Okay. But like for my moves, like I really listen to myself. Yeah. I really listen to how I feel about something. Yeah. I think that tells me a lot more than a book could tell me at a certain point in my life.
Okay. What's one of the best advice throughout your career that you've gotten?
What's one of the best advice throughout my career that I've gotten? Let me think.
I know it's a loaded
because
question.
I've got a lot, bro.
Exactly.
I've got a lot.
Okay, let me ask you this: what's the worst advice you've ever gotten?
Success is slow.
Okay.
No, this shit can happen fast.
Okay.
It just takes time. Like, think about the compound effect, bro. Like, if you give, let's say, 20 hours a week to your success every week, and I give 100, who do you think is gonna win faster? Or, let me think. If you do a skill set that's gonna produce you less, and you put more time, and I do a higher producing skill set, and I put less time, who do you think is gonna produce more? Right. Or if you do everything on your own and do a low producing skill set, and I do that same low producing skill set and I build a team out of it, who do you think is going to produce faster? It's just a mindset shift. Like, this shit ain't slow, and you don't have to do one thing. Right. You just gotta have good people around you and scale fast and have a strategy, bro. Like, have a goal in mind and really think about how you're gonna do this shit. Like, at the beginning, it's cool. Tackle shit and figure it out along the way, right? But once you get to a certain point where, like, you want to hit like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 million a year, you got to sit there and be like, all right, this is exactly what I'm going to do this month. And this is exactly where I need my company to be. And then next month, this is where we need to be. And next month, this is where we need to be. And we'll be 50 steps closer to the goal. Instead of just going like, build sales, build fulfillment, do more marketing. Like, there has to be a strategy behind the shit where you're like, all right, this is how I'm going to hit my goal faster. So, no, success is not slow. You're just deciding to be slow. Yeah. And I'm not trying to hurt feelings out there. No cap. I'm really being honest with you.
No, man. Hey, at the end of the day, we hurt feelings. It's not always a bad thing, bro.
No, it's just a perspective.
Because really, you know, I think this podcast is meant to be super cutthroat and ask these like type of questions that people normally wouldn't ask, or if they do, it's not, you know, getting put out in the media or whatever. But this is like the rawness, man. This is the rawness that I love. You know, the reason why I do this kind of stuff is we really want to know. You know, we want to know what's inside of a 22-year-old mind that's able to live this lifestyle, right? Because let me ask you a question: did you think you were gonna live, you know, in Los Angeles?
Bro, I live in Irvine, dog.
Or Irvine,
bro. I live in Orange County. Like, I'm in the suburbs for real, bro.
That's what I'm saying,
bro. I drive through this place sometimes. And I'm like, yo, I'm really here, bro. Because, like, you have to understand, like, bro, like, I lived in the Dusties, bro. Like, my whole entire childhood, like, bro, like, low-income housing, shitty neighborhoods, bad people around me, Queens, Jamaica, bro. Like, I live in Irvine, dog. It's beautiful out here. Yeah. I got palm trees right there. Do you see, bro, do you see how many palm trees I got right there?
Yeah, I'm about to go get a coconut right now.
Bro, I'm so dead ass though. Like,
yeah, no, you're right.
It's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
I really wake up and I'm so grateful. Like, it's a trip, bro. Like, and I don't even feel like I made it yet. But there's moments where I'm just grateful because, like, it goes back to, like, this shit didn't happen slow. Like, it happened fast. Right. It's just I was willing to go through shit. I was literally willing to fucking eat dirt for this shit because I wanted it. Yeah. And I wanted it more than most people. Like, most people started this journey with me. A lot of people started this journey with me. Let's say 8 people started this journey with me. Like, nobody's left, bro. I'm here by myself. What
were you telling yourself as they start falling off? Because did you ever take that personal?
No.
Okay.
No, it's part of the journey. Some people are meant to come with me, others aren't. Yeah. And it's just it. Like, it is what it is. Like, I love everybody, and I love everybody for them, and I love everybody for their heart. But, like, this shit ain't easy, bro. And it was never easy. Yeah. Yeah, and not honestly, you know, not everyone's built, you know, to have those, like, long days and just. But, like, you can be. Right. No, like bro, like.
If you want it.
Bro, like, it, like, you don't walk into the gym bench pressing 225 your first time, dog. You start with a 10, you move up your way to a 45, and then you go from there, bro. Like, it's just like most people ain't willing to go through that process. Like, they're not, and that's okay, bro. Like, that's okay. That's why that's why sidelines are made.
Yep. No, seriously. It's like you got, you know, not everyone's gonna make it on the field. Not everyone is, and I think, you know, there's like a contradiction, right? Because I think since kindergarten, we're put in a position to make sure that we're better than that person or that person, right? It's like, who's first place? But I think they never really talk about what it takes, why you want to be, what it means, all that stuff, because it's like, no, you need to do this shit for you.
Bro, participation awards don't pay the bills.
That's right. That's true. Because at the end of the day, it's like when you go into the marketplace, the workplace, you have a job to complete. And if you don't complete that job, it's like you can't, you can't get paid.
But once again, I'm not like I'm gonna reiterate this. I'm not trying to hurt nobody's feelings.
Right.
I'm really just trying to give you the perspective of like I want to win. And if you want to win, sometimes you got to think like a fucking winner, bro. Yeah. And if you don't, bro, like nobody ever won thinking they were going to lose.
Right. No, yeah. No, it's funny because I just sat down with my guy, Zay Dent, plays for the Jets, right? And do you follow football a little bit?
No, bro, I don't watch sports.
Okay, because Derek.
I'm so dead ass though.
No, you're good. You're good. Derrick Henry, man. I'm not gonna lie, sports is my passion, but Derrick Henry, he's like one of the biggest guys in the NFL, right? And I asked him, I was like, bro, when you played against him, like, was there any sense of intimidation? He's like, nah, dog. He was like, we're all there for the same reason. We're all there to eat. He's like, I can't think that about another man, like, no matter how big he is.
Facts.
And it's like,
facts.
And I think that's the same translation of like this business is a sport.
It is, bro. We were just having this conversation. Yeah. Like right before the camera turned on. This is my sport. Right. I want to win. I want the championship, bro. I want to sit there like Kobe and have the fucking the trophies around me, like hugging them. Bro, right. I want that. Yeah. I want that, and I will work every day to have that, bro. Right. And once you start thinking about this shit like this, like you're just gonna progress so much faster because you're just gonna want it so much more, bro. And if the more you want it, the more you'll do. It doesn't matter what happens. Like nothing is gonna stop you. Now, let me say that to say this: you gotta have morals, values, and ethics. I don't care if you're never really gonna truly win if you're a grimy ass person. Right. Like you're cut from the whole team, bro.
For sure.
Fireworks.
Happy 4th of July. Oh, shit. Actually, I don't know about that part, but.
Oh no, it's not 4th of July.
Not yet. What is it, the 3rd?
It's the 3rd right now.
Something like that.
I thought it was about to be the 4th.
Oh, no. We're about to have some fireworks going off right here. Nah, but yeah, dog, man, I appreciate it, first of all, for you being here, just because, like I said, this information is super valuable. And I think if you're listening to this, and even if you're not necessarily chasing money, I think just having some type of endeavor, ambition is one of the beautiful things in this world, dog. Like, seriously, like, yeah, because it's like it goes hand in hand. Like you said, you can't just expect your business to grow without you personally diving into who you are,
bro,
and growing yourself.
There was one point in my business, right, where like I swear to God, bro, like I put my mind, my body, and my soul into it, and it wasn't enough, bro. It wasn't enough. It wasn't until I said like really like made a decision in myself that I said I will die for this shit. No cap, like that's deep. Or it could sound deep, but like that's like the decision I made in my mind that like I don't care how much people tell me I'm gonna lose. I don't care about nobody's opinion when it comes to my success. I'm going to win. Right. And it took that, other than giving it my mind, my body, my soul, my spirit, my fucking everything, bro. My tears, bro, there's been nights where like I really cried about this shit, bro. Like I laid there and I just wanted it so bad, bro. And it took that to be like, to be here, bro. And I promise you, like, the people that win, bro, the people that truly win have to go through those moments, bro. Because it just doesn't happen overnight. But it will happen. It will happen if you just don't stop. Seriously, like, you don't fail until you stop. I don't care how many L's you fucking take.
Yeah, for sure.
But you gotta be okay with it, bro. You gotta be okay with it. Okay. Like, bro, like, think about how many shots Kobe took, bro. Right. Like, you think he made a 90% ratio? No, bro. Like he shot and he missed a lot more than he made it. Yeah. And to the point where he just kept making it. And like,
my bad to cut you off, because to make your argument stronger, I think there's an actual stat that Kobe has the most missed shots in the NBA, but no one knows about that. Yeah. Right? Because like you said, it's like you got to take all those shots. But then you're gonna start accumulating those good ones, those highlights.
Like, I'm okay with losing. Yeah, I'm like, I really don't like it, but sometimes I love it, and that's a really weird thing to say. But there's been occasions where I take an L, and I'm like, yo, like this shit hurts so much, but goddamn, it taught me so much. Yeah, and now like, I take action on those things.
Right.
And I make sure that I don't have that same L, because now if I keep having that same L, there is a fucking problem.
Yeah. No,
there's a problem in myself. And
right.
I make sure those things.
And I think that's where the real challenge is, right? Because if you really want to look at the challenge or the problem, whatever you want to call it, is if it keeps happening repetitively, because that's where there's something in there that makes it keep happening that way.
Yeah, no, I agree.
For sure, bro. But yeah, I mean, we did about an hour. This convo did not feel like it was a whole hour, honestly. But do you have anything else you want to say before we log off?
That was too fast.
Yeah, that was way too fast, bro. We definitely got to run it back, man. Man, what if people want to learn off you, man? If people want to get off your energy, where can they find you at?
My IG is just like my name dot secure the bag.
Yes, sir. You gotta secure the bag first, man. Before anything you do, you gotta secure that bag. But yes, sir, man. Perfect ending, man. That was our answer right there, man. Never Heroes episode, the best one yet. Let's get it.